हेलो एवरीवन। आप आज हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं। इंग्लैंड वर्सेस इंडिया दूसरा दिन था दूसरे टेस्ट मैच का। इंडिया इज अहेड। हम आज आपके साथ क्रिकेट के ऊपर बात करेंगे, आज के मैच के ऊपर बात करेंगे। मेरे साथ गौरव अयान शामिल हैं। तो गौरव, आज का दिन आपको कैसा लगा? आज खुशी तो होगी इंडिया को डोमिनेट करते हुए देखते हुए।
पहले तो ज़हीर भाई आपने समय निकाला। आप अमेरिका से टाइमिंग इश्यूज होने के बावजूद भी आप मेरे शो पे आए। पहले तो बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका मेरे शो पे। और
जी।
मैं बहुत दिन से प्लानिंग कर रहा था आपके साथ शो करने का। और जिन लोगों को नहीं पता है तो इनका ये मतलब अमेरिका से है और इनका खुद का भी यूट्यूब चैनल है क्रिकेट क्लासिक। आप देख सकते हैं, आप वहां पर वो बहुत ही अच्छा अच्छा वीडियो डाल सकते हैं। तो आपने जो सवाल पूछा पहले ज़हीर भाई, उस पे मैं आ जाता हूं। आपने
हम्म।
पूछा कि आज का दिन बीइंग एन इंडियन फैन। अच्छा, बैटिंग में आई वाज रियली डिसअपॉइंटेड बाय द बैटिंग परफॉर्मेंस फ्रॉम टीम इंडिया बिकॉज आई वाज लुकिंग at the minimum total of 400 what India have done yesterday. तो वैसे मैं अवेयर था इस बैटिंग कोलैप्स के। जो मैं कल मैंने अपने दोस्त के साथ शो किया था, वहां पर भी मैंने बोला था कि मतलब मुझे लग रहा है कि अराउंड 375 टू 400 ही बनेगा, इससे ज्यादा बनेगा नहीं। क्योंकि इंग्लैंड का पहला दिन का जो खेल था, मतलब इंग्लैंड एज अ टीम जो सेकंड टेस्ट मैच जब स्टार्ट हुआ, तो पहला दिन अब वो टॉस जीते, ठीक है। उसके बाद ऑपोजिशन को बैटिंग करने का न्योता दिया। उनको लगा कि बॉलिंग कंडीशन के लिए बहुत ही अच्छा दिन है, बट उस हिसाब से उनका दिन गया नहीं। तो काफी खराब दिन था एक तरीके से देखा जाए इंग्लैंड के लिए। तो मुझे उम्मीद था कि दे विल बाउंस बैक, एंड हुआ भी आज वही। आप देखें कि मतलब आते साथ ही उन्होंने केएल आज एक एक चीज उन्होंने मतलब मेरे ख्याल से कुछ होमवर्क करके भी आया था। केएल राहुल को अच्छा मतलब उन्होंने देख लिया कि ये बंदा बहुत ऑफ साइड में ना बहुत ज्यादा कवर ड्राइव लगाता है, ऑफ साइड में काफी स्ट्रांग है। तो उन्होंने एक कहते हैं ना होमवर्क करके आए थे और प्लान करके उनका विकेट लिया। शुरुआत मतलब 2 रन ही ऐड कर पाए। कल के जो उन्होंने रन बनाए थे ब्रिलियंट 100, तो आज 2 रन ही ऐड कर पाए और वो आउट हो गए। तो बाकी आगे आप
आ,
करें।
एक चीज जो आप इंग्लैंड की टीम का देख लें, जहां अब जब तक इंग्लैंड की टीम को स्टडी किया है, इंग्लैंड की टीम जो है ना वो बाउंस बैक बहुत अच्छा करती है अपने आप को। जैसे कहते हैं ना, मैच को स्टडी करके आती है और अगले दिन उनके बाउंस बैक से आपने बचना होता है। यू हैव टू
बिल्कुल।
होल्ड योर लाइन इन द नेक्स्ट डे। और बॉलर के लिए रिदम में आना आसान होता है। वो पीछे से बॉलिंग शॉलिंग करके आ रहा होता है, अपने आप को उसने पूरा वो क्या कहते हैं वार्म अप हुआ होता है। बॉलिंग के लिए आने के लिए, रिदम में आना इतना आसान होता है, पहली ही गेंद वो बिल्कुल लाइन पे फेंक देता है। ऑन द अदर हैंड,
जी।
बैटर के लिए बैटिंग पे पिच पे आके अपने आप को रिदम में वापस लेके आना, वो जो कल की जो राहुल की जिस तरह इनिंग चल रही थी उसमें अपने आप को वापस लेके आना एक किस्म का मुश्किल होता है। दोबारा से स्टार्ट करना पड़ता है उसको।
इट्स
तो
लाइक यू आर स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम जीरो अगेन।
यस, यस। सो इस ये बहुत होता है इंग्लैंड के अंदर। इसलिए मैंने पहले टेस्ट मैच में जब राहुल ने 64 जब पहले दिन किए थे, मैंने कहा था अगले दिन शायद वो उतना ना कर पाए। उसने 20-25 रन फिर भी ऐड किए थे अगले दिन। क्योंकि इंग्लैंड के अंदर मैंने ये काफी दफा देखा है कि एक दिन अगर एक बैटर अच्छा कर रहा होता है तो अगले दिन उसकी जो क्या कहते हैं ना बैटिंग में, वो जल्दी लड़खड़ा जाता है। और आज हमने एक और इस मेरी जो थ्योरी को वो प्रूफ किया आज की बैटिंग ने, कि राहुल जो था वो जल्दी आउट हो गया। और दूसरी चीज जो इंग्लैंड की जो आप नोटिस करेंगे, जो मेरे ख्याल से आज देखने वाली बात थी, कि एंडरसन जो है ना वो आपको नई गेंद से ना इतना ज्यादा इफेक्टिव नहीं लग रहा। नई गेंद से उसकी आउटस्विंग तो चल रही है अच्छी, पर उसकी इन स्विंग नहीं आ रही। तो जब वो पुरानी गेंद हो जाती है ना, तो उसकी रिवर्स स्विंग के जरिए उसकी इन स्विंग भी आ जाती है, तो फिर वो थोड़ा डेंजरस हो जाता है। तो आज हमें देखा कि गेंद थोड़ी पुरानी थी, तो वो रिवर्स स्विंग दोनों तरफ से भी करने शुरू हो गया, और वहां से ना वो थोड़ा सा डेंजरस हो गया मेरे ख्याल से। तो ये थोड़ी सी पुरानी गेंद के साथ ना एंडरसन जो है ना वो थोड़ा सा लीथल हो जाता है। और मैं
हाँ,
टेल एंडर
वो तो वैसे वो पुरानी गेंद हो चाहे नई गेंद हो, उनमें तो आपको पता है कि आज से वो नहीं, कुछ 15 16 17 साल से वो क्रिकेट खेल रहे हैं। तो उनमें जो वो रेड बॉल से इतना इफेक्टिव है ना कि
हम्म।
ऑब्वियसली ड्यूक बॉल आपको पता है इंग्लैंड में कुछ जरूरत से ज्यादा ही हरकत करता है। तो गेंद नई हो चाहे पुरानी हो, आई थिंक एंडरसन इज स्टिल लुक लाइक, वैसे तो उनकी एज 39 हो चुकी है, बट अभी भी वो लगते हैं कि वो कुछ 20-21 साल में अपने जवानी में गेंदबाजी कर रहे हैं, अभी भी वही कला है और अभी भी शानदार गेंदबाजी वो कर रहे हैं।
आबे हयात जिसे कहते हैं ना, आबे हयात पिया हुआ है, कोई प्याला पिया हुआ आबे हयात का हम बचपन से देखते आ रहे हैं, अब हम बूढ़े होते जा रहे हैं और एंडरसन वैसे का वैसे ही है। उस
एग्जैक्टली
तरह का पिया हुआ है उसने आबे हयात। और
बिल्कुल।
एक और चीज जो है मैं थोड़ा सा उस पे आप पे बात करना चाहूंगा यार, इंडियन की टेल एंडर्स इंग्लैंड के अंदर मेरे ख्याल से ना, अगर आपने अच्छा टफ कंपटीशन देना है ना, तो यू हैव टेल एंडर्स हैज टू कंट्रीब्यूट, क्योंकि शुरू के जो इनिशियल टफ सिचुएशन होती है वो बैट्समैन खेल रहे होते हैं, नई गेंद खेल रहे होते हैं बैट्समैन, मॉर्निंग का सेशन बैट्समैन खेल रहे होते हैं, वहां आपकी मॉर्निंग के सेक्शन में जिसे कहते हैं ना 2 विकेटें जानी जानी होती है, नई गेंद से आपकी 2-3 विकेटें जानी जानी होती हैं। लेकिन so we have to talk. Spanish King is here with us, so probably we have to talk in English. So Indian tailender has to contribute in order to win in England, and today we did not see that with tailender. In the first match, Bumrah made 28. We saw that he was contributing, and that 28 was very valuable. But today, Indian tailenders shows their previous record. They were walking wickets and they did not contribute. What do you guys say is about that?
But Lucas, you wanna go for it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, the Indian tail have a history of not being that good. As you said, that Bumrah made a good innings of 28, but unfortunately this Test match the Indian tail did not turn up, and they really struggled. Jadeja was actually very good today with the bat, but the problem is he just ran out of partners. He just got stranded, and unfortunately, he had to play that big shot because Joe Root went defensive as all captains do now these days. When you got a star player left batting with a tail, they try to bat you into getting off strike, and unfortunately, Jadeja couldn't take singles, and he had to take risky shots. Unfortunately, he spooned the first shot he did take. He spooned it up in the air to James Anderson. So it was just a shame on that regard that he had to take that risk.
Okay, so go for it, Zaid bhai.
Yeah, because I truly think in order to I'm just repeating it, but in order for win in England, your tail has to contribute, and your tail cannot contribute zeros. They have to contribute 10, 15, whatever they can, and support. And when they have a supporting batsman with them, when they have a playing aggressive batsman with them, they have to manage somehow stay longer over there, and that's a difference. India made around 370 today. If the tail would have contributed a little bit, they would go past 410, 420, and they would be in a commanding position. It's not like they're not in commanding position right now. They are still in commanding position, but they would have psychologically they would have beaten England so badly, because England would have think if they cross 400, England would have think that there is no way we can win this match. Now is draw. We have to go for a draw or something like that. So,
but Zaid bhai, I think I got your point that you need a team like any team for now. I'm not talking about the India, but everybody expect talenters to wag, but you can't expect talenters to wag every time. It's happening with the India right now because the middle order, the main batsmen like Pujaras, the Rahanes, the Kohlis, has been not been firing. Just imagine if they would have been firing, people were not expecting about talenters to wag, and they were not talking about that they would have contributed. You can't just say about the talent that they need to wag, because you can't expect like a guy like Ishant Sharma, Bumrah, and for that matter Siraj. And I'm just forgetting the another guy's name. I think Ishant Sharma, Mohammad Siraj, Bumrah, another Mohammad Shami. Yes. Mohammad Shami. You can't expect these guys to perform with the bat, because their primary role is to bowl them opposition out. So I think it's been being if you talk about with myself, I think we have been very unfair. We are expecting a lot from our talentless batsmen to score runs consistently. That's the thing which I want to talk. They fired in the Nottingham Test match, but you can't expect every time. If you expect every time, then they're not talentless. They are like batsmen, proper batsmen. If the proper batsmen won't fire, how can you expect a talenter to fire every time?
I totally get your point. That's a very valid point you're making. That's not their job to do, right? The problem
Yes.
is in England, the winning formula in England is, if you look into it, is your tailender has to contribute. The reason being is because we have to look at the conditions the batsman play. The batsman is the one who's facing the new ball, right? So there's two wickets gonna go right there with the new ball, right? Is you have to
Yes.
write it down that two wicket new ball we're gonna take a two wickets, right? And same thing, the batsman has to play the morning session, which is, and today the batsman is playing the morning session, and the morning session would take two wickets, and especially if it's for overcast, then you bound to get two wickets. I understand you say the batsman is the one who's supposed to make runs, but in my
Yes.
theory, in my opinion, usually when the tail end is bad, usually that's the time around the ball is soft, it's an old ball, and that's the time around usually is the best time to make runs. And usually if you see England tail ender in that situation take the game ahead from the other visiting teams, and they contribute 50s 60s combined tail ender 60 70 runs, and which usually a difference between those two teams. So that's why I'm saying it, in my winning formula, in my winning combination is, if you want to win in England and you want to dominate England in England, your tailender must contribute with the bat. Having said, with the middle order, you saying it, there's something really, really going wrong with Pujara. Just yesterday, the way he got out when I was seeing it, he
Yes.
never played that kind of a shot. I have never seen him playing that kind of a shot. He, playing with a
But
hot hand.
Zahir bhai, I think you are saying that you just said that you have never seen this kind of shots being played from Pujara. But if you talk to me, if you take my point of view, but I've seen this kind of dismissal from Pujara for many times now. It's nothing new for me because he has the habit of what do you call it of what do you call it he has the problem of that ball coming in into the stumps, and that where he gets candidate of LBW out, and especially I'm talking about the England condition, because in Australia you
Outswinger.
yes, the outswinger, the outswinger where he gets bowled sometimes, and where he gets sometimes LBW. And sometimes he has the habit, yeah, I got that word, sometimes he has the habit of poking the ball around the fourth stump line, and especially in this England condition, I have seen many times this kind of dismissal from Cheteshwar Pujara, especially in the England condition, and this is not the first time, and I'm sure this is not going to be the last time that is happening with Cheteshwar Pujara in this England condition, because you can't see this kind of dismissal in Indian condition, and you will not see this type of dismissal in Australian condition. You will
Mm,
see this kind of
mm.
dismissal from Pujara in New Zealand and in England condition. Lucas, go ahead.
So
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. You may not see that in Australian conditions, but that doesn't mean Australian don't have the bowlers to simulate the English bowlers in any condition.
Yes.
You know,
No, because
Pujara got
I just said that with this England condition and the New Zealand condition, the ball seems late. So he is little tentative he tries to push the ball or try to poke that ball in the first stump, and he just gets out with this slip fielding catch or behind the wickets.
Yeah, but I understand that point, but that doesn't mean that Australia don't have those bowlers. They do. They have Josh Hazlewood, who found out Pujara in that Australian and Indian series. All Hazlewood did was bowl middle stump, come out into the slips, and Pujara would have to play at that, because he doesn't know if the ball's going to straighten or if it's going to move to slips, or if it's going to go down leg side. It's a ball that he has to play mentally. He has to play that, because he doesn't know what that's going to do. Now, James Anderson is this very similar bowler to Josh Hazel, where he pitches on middle, swings it back out, and when you get into that mindset of thinking, okay, well, I've seen this before with Hazlewood. How am I going to deal with it? Do I keep just batting away, and it plays with your head. He played a shot that literally he should leave. He should leave.
Yes.
2-3 years ago, he would have left that.
Yeah,
But
in my
because
opinion,
yeah,
he usually
yeah,
leave those balls. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right about that.
yeah. But because the mindset is there, you know, what Josh Hazlewood, it was very relentless what Josh Hazlewood did. He wouldn't move off that line, especially in the Sydney and the Brisbane Test matches. That's the same line he would bowl to Pujawa all the time. Didn't bowl any short bounces, didn't bowl any leg stump. That's the line, and Pujawa was forced to play. Now with Anderson, so he's the same. Anderson obviously is a better bowler, much better bowler, but he's the same kind of bowler that'll give you the same thing as Josh Hazlewood, but he's more accurate. And that's even worse. You know, you're thinking, oh, well, I got past Hazlewood. You know, I did all right. I did survive a lot of balls, but James Anderson is much more accurate. He's much more. I'm trying to think of the word. Much more.
Cunning.
Anyway, yeah.
From a same spot, he can bring a ball back in, and from out. If you're not reading it through the ball through his hand, then you're in trouble. You cannot play him off the pitch. You have to read it through the hand.
Yeah, I found the word. He's more potent than Josh Hazlewood. And Pujawa, he gets in that mode because, like I said, Test cricket, it tests you mentally. You know, not just physically. You know, not just emotionally, but it tests you mentally. And when you get that same ball over and over again, you try a lot of different things. You know, how do I deal with it? Do I play it? Do I leave it? Do I mark another guard? Do I mark the off stump guard to get myself around it? And unfortunately, he's played a ball that he would leave 3 years ago. He would leave that. He wouldn't even touch that. And he's played at that delivery. And unfortunately, you know, he's got into that mindset. It's got into his head a little bit, you know, and it's a mental thing. He needs to snap out of it. You know, he hasn't woke up and his technique is gone. That doesn't happen with the Test cricket players. You just don't wake up with no technique. It's a mental game, and unfortunately, his mental game is not there right now.
Probably he's also feeling
Lucas, go ahead, Zaid.
I'm thinking probably he's also feeling the heat because probably there's many other batsmen is lining it up for India. And I think when probably India gonna try some other opener and KL Rahul gonna go in the middle order. That's what I'm hearing it. So probably Pujara is the one who's missing out. So probably he's feeling the heat, trying to want to make a contribution with his bat. What do you guys think about that?
And one more thing, Zaid bhai. I think Lucas made a very good point that this Test cricket is all about this mental game. But one more thing, I think you talked about this Josh Hazlewood issue. But in Australia, Josh Hazlewood hasn't got this kind of dismissal for Pujara in Australian condition. He has the habit of ball coming in this Australian condition, because in Australia you see this, that you can leave the ball on the length. You can trust the ball, but in England, sometimes you can't leave the ball on the length, and you doesn't know how much ball gonna swing. And the problem with this England conditions, that it swings very late, and you can't judge that swing, that how much it's gonna swing, and that's the thing that is going wrong with the Pujara, because obviously he's not been very good form. So if you're not been very good form, so you try to feel every ball when it comes to you or going towards you. You try to play every ball, and once you're in good form, you can be confident, and you can leave as many as you want.
It seems like he's not seeing the ball from the hand of Anderson. And that's the problem is once you're not seeing the ball from the hand, and you do not know what is coming in, is outswing, inswing, and if you're trying to play it off the pitch, it is impossible to play off the pitch bowler like Anderson. And he's the guru, he's the master of his craft right now, and it's very tough to play him off the pitch right now. Probably he can come a little bit forward to minimize his swing going both ways, but Anderson will find his way to beat that as well. So
exactly. And he has been over Pujara. It's not the first time that he dismissed Pujara, and I think it will not be the last that he has dismissed Pujara, because he knows how to get Pujaras and Ajinkya Rahana's wicket, and obviously Virat Kohli. Go ahead, Lucas.
Is it Zahir?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zahir.
Zahir.
Yeah, he made a good point about the pressure that Pujara would feel because he's not making many runs. There are people that are behind him, as if in any position. We see that with KO Rahul. If he failed in that first test, Agarwal would be back. So,
Yes.
in a way, KO Rahul only got one chance to prove himself.
Yes.
The
We catch that
pressure,
opportunity.
the pressure is unbelievable, especially in a team like India, where the demand is absolutely incredibly high. You can probably get away with it, Sri Lanka, West Indies, Bangladesh, such and such. But with world-class teams like Australia, England, and India, especially India, when there's a lot of demand. I think there's about, isn't there 30 states of domestic cricket league?
More than that. Probably more than that.
Yeah, yes. So a lot of spots are cricket players are trying to get, and and Zahir made a very good point. Pujara, of course, he's feeling that. That's pressure. You're human to feel that, and unfortunately, it's got into his head a little bit. Like I said, it's not a technique problem. You just don't wake up and just can't play these deliveries. So he made also a very good point that he couldn't come forward. He should come forward, bat out of his crease a little bit. But it is a mental game that he's suffering right now. With the pressure, getting out with the same ball, the same length ball, and he needs to deal with that somehow mentally. And once that mentally clicks, he'll be fine. The technique is still there. Technique is clearly there. It's just his mental game. And unfortunately, when you play Test cricket, if you can have all the technique in the world, you can be the second coming of Don Bradman. If you do not have that mental ability, all that talent is wasted.
Yeah, cricket is funny game. The same pressure is on Rahul, and he's doing tremendously well. And the same pressure on Pujara, and he's being a miserable batsman as of right now. But cricket is funny game, and that's what the test match is. Test match tests you your mental ability, your technique, your temperament, and that's why we love test match so much.
And Zaid, I think we should focus. I think we should focus more on this day's pace rather than the Pujara's dismissal.
Sure.
Let's move ahead, guys. Zaid, go ahead.
So, having said that, what do you think about England's batting? And when you talk about pressure, being able to play with the pressure, Hasib dismissal, it seems like he was under tremendous pressure, and he could not see the ball. Could not see the ball. If you're gonna go ask him, he's gonna say probably I didn't see the ball. I didn't sight the ball right. Well,
I think he played like Mohammad Siraj like that. He would have bowled that 150 kilometer per hour. But I think Lucas would be agree with me on this. I think he should have batted on his position where he bats normally. I think he's an opener, so he should have batted on his opening slot. But I don't know. I think England are very happy with this Dominic Sibley and Rory Burns combination, which is not working out at all. Lucas, go ahead, and you need to unmute yourself first.
Yeah. No, that mainly Dom Sibley. You talk about pressure. He's getting a lot of hate mail. Well, not hate mail, but a lot of hate from social media. We have to remember that it's not his fault he gets picked. That's on the coaching staff. That's on the board, the selectors. But we can only judge his batting, and he is terrible. The shot he played today was his strength is off his pads, and to get out to a shot like that, it's like he's never played a game.
It's a lazy shot. It's a lazy shot, and it's a 3 times in a row. You can see it from the Sibley that he played a lazy shot to give away his wicket, an exact same manner.
This isn't a guy that's having 20 in the county championship in England. He scored the most runs recently as an opener in the county championship. That's why he's in the team. And his main strength is off his pads, and he's getting out to shots like that. It's like he's never ever played cricket before. Burns was okay, was better. Rory Burns,
he was much better than earlier.
And Hamid, he played like he was under tremendous pressure.
Yes.
The field that Kohli planned was unbelievable. 3 on the leg side like that. That was, I don't know if that put off Hamid, but he completely missed a straight one. The ball didn't really do a thing. He just
It's a
missed a
half
straight
volley.
one.
Yeah, it was a half volley.
So he didn't even see it. That tells me he didn't see it. So he
Yes.
either A, he was too nervous, or B, he just did not feel the pressure properly. His attitude towards it wasn't great. That's what I got out of from that. And and Hamid, he's no mug. He technically he's the informed England batsman in this series. He made that 100 against the India for the County A side, where he
Yes.
batted absolutely amazing against Bumrah and that. But today, he was a shell of himself, absolute shell of himself, shambles.
It's a shame that he saw the first ball, and the first ball was right in the middle, half volley, and he missed it and bowled out.
And then one more thing, I think the ball didn't do that much that he looked like after getting bowled.
Yeah.
No. Well, a juicy half volley, you think, oh gee, what a ball to get you first
Yes.
up. Put that away for 4, and he absolutely missed it. So maybe he got distracted by the field placings. That was let's be honest, that is a weird field placing what Kohli did. I've never seen that before.
Probably butterfly in his stomach. I think that's more of it. Yeah, that.
But but the way his feet didn't move, the way he didn't, it seemed to me he just wasn't up to it today.
Yep, you're right about that.
So which is pretty sad because he's a player that's got a lot of love. Comparison to Sibley, he's got a lot of hate. Hamid's got a lot of love, and when he got out that way, there was a lot of people on social media that were pretty heartbroken by it. That were pretty upset by it. So
I was the one who's calling for it. I was also calling for Hamid to come after seeing England miserable performance with the bat in the first inning. I wanted Hamid to come, and second, I also with the ball. If you want to talk about with the ball, I think England has 2 good bowlers. They have Anderson and Robinson, and after that they got troublesome, which is Karan and
that's a good one, Zain. That's a good one.
Markwood. But the Karan is not a good fifth bowler. Oh, sorry, fourth bowler. He could be a good fifth bowler, but he cannot do 20 balls or 20 overs. That's for sure. Markwood.
Yes, and Zain, one more thing. If your fourth bowler is what do you call it, Sam Curran, that's the main problem that you had, because Sam Curran is a bowler, is more of a batsman who can a very handy bowler. But once you're going in the test matches, you need 4 quality bowlers who can give you wicket anytime when the captain wants. So I think Sam Curran is not the guy who can give you wickets anytime which the captain wants. So he's like a contained bowler, which Lucas' favorite word is. He's like a contained bowler, and he can rest your main bowler sometimes. So I think they got those combination wrong.
Absolutely, and same thing with the Markwood. All Markwood has is speed and pace. That's it. He does not have any other variety. He doesn't have a good outswing or inswing. No. And at the test level, if you do not have outswing, inswing, and some other kind of a variety to get batsmen out or confuse the batsman, you cannot get Indian batsmen out with just mere pace. Pace is not going to do it. You need to have some other qualities along with the pace to, pace is good enough, but you need some other kind of quality as well. So with 2 bowlers...
Zaida, especially when we have started to win in Australia, so we don't have the problem against the pace. I think Lucas will agree with that.
So with 2 bowlers, I thought England did remarkably well today to get India out with 376. Because yesterday I thought India going to make more than 450 the way they were in a strong position yesterday. But things happens, and and with a bowling lineup like this, it was it was remarkably well from the England side to restrict
Exactly.
India from 370s, around
Exactly.
370.
And
Well,
I was the first one who called in my yesterday show when I was doing a show with my one of my friends and one of my team members. So I told him that I am expecting that England gonna fire tomorrow. Once I said in the yesterday episode, and I was very much right because I was aware about that England Indian batting collapse, and I knew that England has a bad day on the first day and they would be fired today, and they was I think I got my prediction spot on, and they bowled brilliantly. Anderson was as usual on his he doesn't look like he's in his 40s. Still looks like he gonna play after the Ashes also, and I made the prediction that that the Ashes will be last series for Anderson, but I think he will continue after that because he has been picking lots of wicket and he has been firing for the England. I think, and one more thing, I think Ollie Robinson also contributed to him. Just imagine if Ollie Robinson was not in this team, then you could have imagined the situation of England. I think there would have been only one bowler. I think there is an Anderson, and nobody looked like they would take a lot of wicket and they could run out any or in the Indian team they can run out with the wickets. Lucas.
And just one small thing I want to add, and after that, I want to hear what Spanish King has to say. I thought they missed out England in the squad. I thought they should have included Saqib Mahmood. I think he was in a good form in Pakistan. He was in a good form in PSL. He was unplayable in PSL, that's for sure. And in Pakistan, against Pakistan, he played pretty good. He has a pretty good ODIs, decent T20s. I thought he should have been included because Saqib Mahmood, he doesn't have a good in swing out swing, like Anderson, but he did enough. He has pace. He did enough to trouble the batsman. So that thing, I think they miss out on Saqib Mahmood. I think that he should have been included in 11.
Well, you made a very good point about Mark Wood. You need more than just pace. Now, if you look at his average outside of England compared to in England, it's chalk and cheese. He's very good outside of England because the pitches outside of England, like in Asia, Australia, he hasn't been to Australia yet in a test match, but those kind of paces, you can use your pace to penetrate those pitches and become very successful. And he'll be a danger in the Ashes. Just like when most fast bowlers go to Australia, like Bumrah bowling 150 in the first tour, Rabada bowling 150 when South Africa completely destroyed Australia in that test series. He'll be very dangerous in those kind of situations. But in England, you need something. You just can't rely on pace. Now, to your point about Mahood, England, they have wonderful bowlers in the county divisions. They have Luke Fletcher, who's the leading wicket taker. Now, some people say he's not fit for Test cricket. He's not fit. He only bowls 75 miles per hour. That's all I hear about that. But he's your leading wicket taker.
I think Lucas, just to interrupt you, I think England have moved on from this 75 to 80 miles bowlers like that. They have moved on from the Chris Wokes also. Go ahead, Lucas.
Yeah. It seems to me if you're not Anderson or Broad and you only bowl 80 miles per hour, you're no good. But they have players like Craig Overton, who's also took a lot of wickets. Young Bamber, who's also taken a lot of wickets, who was in that India game for the county 11, and you have Ollie Stone, who was pretty good in Asia, the recent tours in Asia. So you had all those options, but they picked technically what they did is they replaced Broad with a spinner. And Moeen Ali really didn't do anything. He took one wicket, but that's he just threw his wicket away. I wouldn't say that was good bowling for Moeen Ali. I can't remember where Moeen Ali bowled 2 or 3 overs in a row of good bowling. So that was a bad mistake.
Lucas, as I said it earlier, you can't expect any spinner to had a very good day on the day 1 or day 2.
I think you would expect. Sorry about that. I think you would expect a little bit of turn, or some kind of grip.
No, it's kind of asking too much from a spinner on day one.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
or day two.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And especially
It
a
kind of
spinner, and especially a spinner who is a very good batsman also. Don't
Yeah.
forget that.
yeah. Well, Moeen Ali, is not on Jadeja's level, nowhere near it.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, he was picked as the frontline spinner. So you can make a debate if they should have brought in Jack Leach, or if they were content with Don Best bowling half volleys everywhere to the Indian batsmen. That's another thing. But technically, they replaced Stuart Broad, who's a pace bowler, seam bowler, with a spinner. And as soon as they did that, I said that on the show early in the week on day one of the toss. I said that's a bad move. That's going to cost them. While
Yes.
India, they replaced an all-rounder with an experienced Ishant Sharma who bowls seam.
Yes.
So I think England got that completely horribly wrong, and I think it's going to come to bite them.
Yeah, and bowling is go ahead, sir.
Sorry to interrupt you, Zaid bhai. Just one more point I want to make it for the Moeen Ali recall in this England team. I think, especially in this test team, I think England they are still looking for a replacement for Ben Stokes, for a guy like a Ben Stokes. That's why they're still playing with the Sam Curran again and again, and they added Moeen Ali in this team also. So it's like they want to cover Ben Stokes' position with this two all-rounders. So you can imagine what Ben Stokes brings to the table. You can't get a replacement of Ben Stokes.
No.
You add three more all-rounders. That doesn't mean that you will get the quality of Ben Stokes.
Tell you the truth, what I really I wanted in my first test, when the first test finished, I even though Moeen Ali was not in the playing squad for the second test match, and they have to add him in afterwards. But after the first test match, I in my analysis, I says they need Moeen Ali right now. It seems like it, because Moeen Ali in form with the bat. But I thought they should have included him instead of Butler, because Butler was in a horrible form as of right now. And he was horrible form against Pakistan in T20s. He could not even hit a ball, just to touch the ball with the bat. He could not have done that. So I was thinking, give the wicket keeping option to Bairstow and remove the Butler.
But Johnny Bairstow's place also has not been fixed in this test team. He has been in this playing 11 just because Ollie Pop is out of this team. He was injured before the series start, and obviously Ben Stokes is not in the team. You can't imagine Johnny Bairstow in this playing 11 if Ollie Pop and Ben Stokes would have been in this team.
Yeah, but the thing is, right now, is if you really look at England batting order, only two players whenever they're together, Joe Root and Bairstow, it seems like in England playing a test cricket. Beside that, none of you feel like a wicket is coming anytime if any other batsman is playing, rather than Johnny Bairstow or Joe Root. So those two batsmen look comfortable against India bowling. So in my opinion,
and
they should have
one more
included.
stat I have that with the Johnny Bairstow. I think he got out on the zero for the 6 or 7 times for the past 7 to 8 test matches against India that he has played.
Interesting, very interesting. But first test match, I thought he looked good. He looked okay.
Yes,
And
but he still got out on this straighter ball.
he did at least better than his other counterparts.
Yes.
Because of the nature of Test match cricket, once you make a 20 in Test match cricket, that's classed as a start. That's classed as getting your eye in. You've survived a lot of deliveries, and you need to push on. And Bairstow, he did that. He got his eye in. He looked good. Unfortunately, he didn't go to the next step. But with Josh Butler, I can't say I've been impressed with him. This match, he had a tough chance where he dropped that catch, but a professional keeper like a Frokes, or a keeper in the domestic league that's been keeping since they're a kid, probably would have caught that ball. So his keeping hasn't really been that great. But this is another debate with England cricket, or not just England cricket, but worldwide cricket. What do you do with your keeper? Do you play the keeper that's the best at batting, and sucks at keeping, or do you bring in a keeper that's very good in keeping, sucks at batting?
You have to do.
Yeah.
You have to go with a good task keeping cricketer, because
Yeah.
if you drop 2-3 catches,
Yeah.
you miss one stump, you out
Yeah.
of the game. You drop.
But same thing happened in the Indian. Same thing happened in the Indian team also. Once I think Rishabh Pant was not in very good form. Ridhiman Saha used to keep in this difficult condition in the Indian pitches, and once India goes overseas, and Rishabh Pant once again back with the keeper, because he has the ability to bat. He's a very good batsman, obviously, and in the overseas you can trust the bounce and you can trust his keeping skills.
Yeah. And the reason why I mentioned the keeping, I'm glad you mentioned that Indian series. Folks in that Indian series in India was absolutely brilliant, especially with the spinners.
Yes,
he was unbelievable, and I thought they honestly would have picked him over Butler. So I was a little bit surprised with that. But obviously with England cricket, they've gone with their best batsman available over a professional keeper.
But I think his stats are very much good when he plays at number 6.
Well, I don't know his stats per se, but from what I've seen, he's been really awful.
True.
Especially that first innings in the first game. Awful. A little bit better in the second innings. But
if you've seen Pakistan T20s or Pakistan one days, he does not look like Butler does not look in a good form at all. He could not even hit a ball with his bat, and I was saying, like, how can he play a test match against India? And in the first match he was not absolutely not on his game, and his batting is yet to come over here in this match. Probably he will throw everything to the wind and just go for it and try to smack the ball out of the park. Probably just go around this play. But I don't think he does not look in a good mental frame, same as Pujara, in my opinion, as of right now. And they should have, in what I was thinking, that's what the problem with India and England. India look like much more settled team, and England probably have a good pieces, good cogs here and there, but their squad is not settled. And probably this series will determine their squad for the Ashes, and probably settle him down in the test match with this combination and stuff like that.
And one more thing. I think England are still looking as a Josh Butler as a ODI batsman and a T20 batsman who can change the momentum in the test matches also, like he changes the momentum in ODI test. And I think you expect a little more. You can't be playing the same situation like you play in the England in the ODI and T20 format. And he has been picked. I think he has been picked with this whiteboard performance in this test matches, because I was looking at his what do you call it, the domestic where I think county where he plays with the Lancashire, and I was seeing his stats. I think his average is still on the 30s, and the 34, the 35 is still. So you can't imagine a player like Josh Butler or any player like a proper batsman or any keeper who's having an average of 33 or 34 can make to this international test side.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing, and he's holding a premium spot, because in English condition, in my opinion, 4, 5, 6 is a premium spot, because you're gonna end up get a older ball, and which is the most useful to make runs in English condition, and probably later in the day when the the morning session is gone, so probably you're gonna bat later in the day, and at that time is the best opportune time to make runs. And he is holding a premium spot to make runs, but he's not delivering for England probably, and that's the problem with England right now. But let's see, he can prove himself again. He has a chance again in this test match, and let's see what he can do with the bat.
Okay, and I think we should respect the time that Lucas and Zair Bhai has given to our show. I think it's time to wrap up this podcast. wrap the show because obviously it's I think it will be 4 a.m. in this Australia. So let Lucas sleep right now. So it's time to wrap the show. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Zaid bhai,
No
for
problem.
joining us.
Thank you.
Final point prediction for the tomorrow's day's play. Tomorrow's day's play. What gonna happen? Will England will be bowled out, and what will be the prediction? How much England will add on the score? How much England gonna make after today's day's play? After tomorrow, Zaid bhai,
Uh,
go ahead.
it's all depends.
Prediction,
To,
just a
to me,
prediction.
it all depends on the morning session. Morning session is the most crucial. If England somehow survives it morning session, then probably they end up putting a good score. But I don't feel they're surviving. I don't feel Baresto surviving it. I can feel Joe Root surviving it.
Yeah.
But the problem is I don't feel Baresto surviving the morning session. One and two, what I feel like, even though it's a flaw logic, but I feel like if in the first test match, second inning, we saw the best of Joe Root, and what the England end up making it 300 runs. So I think
Yes.
if they just copy that same performance over here, what England end up making is 300 runs, and it's not good enough. you know,
Yeah.
So you're
and
still predicting that England will went on to score 300 only, right?
yeah, it's not more than that. Not more than that.
Yes. Go with the Lucas. Lucas, prediction for
Yeah.
tomorrow. How
Yeah.
many runs England will make?
Yeah. You could have the same prediction where Joe Root could get stranded like the Jadeja was, and then he has to throw his wicket away. So I think so. He was absolutely right on the money. I don't see Bairstow. I don't see any other player surviving. Joe Root is going to probably have to score majority of those runs, and I don't think they're going to get to 300. I don't see it.
Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow, guys. I think
All
it's
right.
time to wrap the show. We have that time. Thank you, Zahir bhai. Thank you, Lucas, for joining us. It was
Thank
a
you for
pleasure
coming,
talking to
Zahir.
you. I
Thank you.
really enjoyed
No
the
problem.
show today, and I hope we will meet tomorrow again because we will have the day 3, the moving day, which we call in
Mm.
the test matches. Till then, guys, good night. Take care, and do like, guys, do like this video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Lucas, Zahir bhai,
That,
just tell everyone to subscribe.
yep. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share on social media to your friends. Thank you.
Yeah, subscribe it, like it, share it, and hit that bell button, and you will get this great analysis by Ayaan. So do that, please.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much,
guys. We'll
Zahir.
meet tomorrow. Till then, good night, guys. Good night.